Hey Astro Kids, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the horoscope for the month of June 2021. So starting off here on the 1st of June, Mars will shift into the sign of Cancer. Now Mars is debilitated in Cancer, so this will be a very challenging transit, and we'll talk more about this in a future video. Mars, remember, is a soldier, a warrior. It wants to go out and take action and get things done. Cancer is connected to the home, the mother, our comfort, our nourishment. So Mars is very uncomfortable here in the sign of Cancer. Now we'll also see Mercury come into a combustion here at the beginning of June as well. Remember that Mercury is in a retrograde, so it will shift back to meet up with the Sun. On the 10th of June, we will have a solar eclipse in the sign of Taurus. This will be towards the end of Taurus, and we'll talk more about that in a future video. This is a part of this big eclipse season. If you have not already checked out that video on the full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, make sure to check that out. I will leave a link above and down below in the description. On the 14th of June, the Sun will shift into the sign of Gemini. So this will push us into a new consciousness, a new seasonal shift here as the Sun moves into Gemini. Our focus shifting from this more relaxed and friendly sign of Taurus into this very curious and mentally active sign of Gemini. On the 20th, Jupiter will shift into retrograde. So once again, we're here in this eclipse season, in this retrograde season, where there's lots of changes, lots of internal work to do. And this is a lot that we will talk about here in this month of June with all of this happening. Of course, this will all take us into November and October when these retrogrades will start to clear up and we will move out of this eclipse zone. On the 22nd, Venus will shift into the sign of Cancer. This will be a tricky position as the Moon and Venus are not the most friendly of planets. And lastly, here on the 25th, for those of you who are following those three extra planets, our transpersonal planets, Neptune will station retrograde. So we have a lot going on here as we're moving into the summer with all of these eclipses and retrogrades, where there's a lot of internal work to do moving forward. So let's talk about how this tricky month of June will affect each of you according to your moon sign or your ascendant sign. And once again, I want to bring this to all of your awareness that I am not using the tropical zodiac. So the tropical zodiac is typically used in Western tropical astrology, where it is according to the seasonal points and where the stars were positioned hundreds of thousands of years ago. I am using the sidereal zodiac, which is based upon where the stars are positioned right now in the sky. So this is according to the correct position of the stars, and this is coming from those fixed stars as well that sit behind the constellations. And along with that, I am using jyotisha or Vedic astrology, which is coming directly from the scriptures. So this is going to be according to your moon sign, not your sun sign. The moon sign is very, very important as it is the indicator of your mind. So all of your behavior, all of your patterns and cycles that you go through in life are all being filtered through the moon sign, because this is how your mind is functioning, your psyche, your state of mind. So this is very important in terms of looking at horoscopes. I also add in that ascendant because that is the point from which your soul made contact here with its life on earth. So that ascendant is mapping out the foundation of your entire life. It is the lesson, the experience of why you have come into this existence. So I do recommend that you always look at your horoscope according to your ascendant or your moon sign, not your sun sign. For those of you with a Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant, we will be starting off this month of June with Mars shifting into your 9th house of Cancer. So this is a very auspicious placement as Mars is the ruler of your chart coming into the house of fortune. So this is a great time for you to work towards learning, discovering, exploring more, and great time to get in touch with mentors, teachers, to explore and learn more in your life. So anything involved in education, anything involved in writing and publication, in picking up a new language, learning a new skill is huge at this time. This is where a huge amount of the focus will go into with this Mars position. And yes, Mars is debilitated in Cancer, but because it is here in your 9th house and your chart ruler, this is a very beneficial influence as Mars comes through this 9th house. A lot that you can learn and explore and discover, and a lot of passion centered around learning. This can also be a time where you're very passionate and ambitious about your belief systems as well. So with Mars coming in here, you may be more focused, more devoted in this area in terms of your beliefs, your hopes at this time. And this can be a great time for your enthusiasm, your passion, and using this to overcome difficulties and obstacles. Remember that Mars is also controlling your 6th house. And with Mars here in the 9th house of your chart, this is giving you a tremendous amount of power to overcome the problems and challenges within your life. Your faith, your belief is a huge influence at this time. We're also going to see Mercury come into a combustion as Mercury is retrograde here in the sign of Gemini, shifting back into Taurus. And so Mercury coming into a combustion, very positive moment as this is bringing a tremendous amount of clarity and insight as this is happening in your 8th house. This is a huge time where you can receive some very deep wisdom and insight through that 8th house. Again, with Mercury there in that 8th house of Gemini, you can find some deep interest in learning more in your occult studies, learning more in research, investigation. This can also be a time where you find more communication in your deeper connections as well. This can be a time where you feel more closely connected to the in-laws as that 8th house is connected into your in-laws as well. But any sort of deeper, closer connections where there are shared resources, where there are shared values, there is a huge amount of influence here in terms of communication. And with this in a retrograde, this is a great time to review your communication with others to make sure that everything is clear and understandable. Anything that is not understood, reviewing, going over it within your connections. On the 10th of June, we will see a solar eclipse shift into the sign of Taurus there in your 7th house. This is a huge time where you can have some new unexpected experiences in terms of your relationships. This could be a time of entering into a new friendship, a new business partnership, a new romantic relationship with this solar eclipse. This is a time, though, where some of you may feel some uncertainty as a solar eclipse, and we'll talk more about this in a future video, but a solar eclipse is a moment of the light of the sun being blocked out. So this is a new moon, this is a new phase, a new journey, stepping into a new adventure, but there's no consciousness, there's no light, there's nothing to see where you are headed. So this is a major time of taking a leap of faith in this area of relationships and connections. You can also receive some fame, some popularity, some attention from the public, but again, there's something big here about taking a leap of faith in this area. On the 14th, we will see the sun shift into Gemini there in your 8th house. Again, a spotlight is being put on this 8th house where you may find yourself more interested, more drawn towards the occult, towards mystical practices and ancient teachings here in this 8th house, wanting to explore a little bit deeper, to do some more exploration in the mysteries of life. This can be a time of deep research. This can be a time that is very good in terms of any sort of research projects, anything that you are looking to explore and discover at a deeper level. And with the sun here in this 8th house, many of you may find that you are going through some very deep, intense, transformational experiences, especially as the sun is controlling your public image there. Some of you going through some deep emotional experiences that will change the way that you present yourself to the public. For some of you, even the way that you're presenting yourself in your career as well, with the sun here in this 8th house. This can also open up a lot of light and awareness, a lot of focus here in on your deeper, closer connection. So again, a lot of focus in on intimacy, on deeper connection, on all of these romantic and business-oriented types of partnerships where there are shared resources, where there is a deeper connection and understanding going on in this 8th house. So this can be a big time where there's a focus in on relationships. But with the sun there in that 8th house, you want to be careful. There can be some crisis, some sudden ups and downs in your area of career where there are areas that you need to work on improving and making some drastic changes. On the 20th of June, we will see Jupiter station retrograde, and along with that, Neptune will also station retrograde with Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius there in your 4th house. This is a great time of deeper clarity and insight as these planets station retrograde. Jupiter is a very beneficial planet with it controlling your 2nd and 5th house, so this is a great time for your education to flourish. That 4th house also connected to your school. If you are present doing classes within an actual institution, within an educational institution, that 4th house being connected. But also the 4th house is your home, your sanctuary, your place of peace. And so this is a time where your mind is getting a bit of a break and you're getting this easier sense of clarity and understanding through this whole Jupiter transit in your 4th house, blessing many of you with good fortune as that 5th house is also being activated there, and this 4th house being a very happy Kendra house as well. On the 22nd of June, we will see Venus shift into Cancer there in your 9th house. So as well as any sort of masculine teachers, you can see some feminine teachers coming in as well. Venus being that feminine energy there in that 9th house, you may find that there is some sort of celebration centered around a female in your life as well. Venus, though, in that 9th house gives a love of learning, a love of exploration, a love of your spiritual practices and belief systems. So again, this whole shift here through the month of June, there's going to be a heavy focus on your education and learning, exploring, connecting deeper for those of you with a Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant. So this has been your June 2021 horoscope for Scorpio moon or Scorpio ascendant. I want to thank you all so much for joining. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like as well as a comment. If you are new to this channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button along with the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any new content. Once again, we have a lot to talk about with these retrogrades and this ongoing eclipse season. So make sure to hit that notification bell to stay tuned. If you would like to learn more on Vedic astrology, I do have a course available in the Facebook group Astrology Lessons with Daquan Jones. There is a link down below in the description along with the comments. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you in the next video.